All right, you know what it is, man. Yo, we get ready to do this. I got a special video coming up for you tomorrow. Tomorrow, the video is about what makes a homie. Because people don't understand when I say homies and I mention dudes from other state, that they're still homies. We choose our homies by their code and conduct. I'm giving y'all the rules to this game step by step. That's why I let you know the Cash App is on the screen. Don't forget it. Let's get this thing right. Let's get it moving. All right? Special announcement, man. If you go to my Cash App, $ unique Mecca Hall, and it don't say Waynesworth Hall, don't send money. Period. Only unique Mecca Hall, then it'll show up Waynesworth Hall. That's my account. Nothing else is my account. All right? Now, so let's get this thing popping. But we got to get the intro going, man. So this is what it is, man. This one here, I'm going to tell you about how we stick together based on principle, codes, and conduct. So pay attention, because I know y'all are not used to hearing this, not disrespecting anybody. I know I get emotional. I know I get passionate, you know what I mean? And I know I get aggressive, but it's no disrespect to no one. Now, we had a DC homie. I'm putting up a video tomorrow on what is a homie. Because when I mentioned dudes from DC, of course you got the little suckers and trolls. We only had one. You know what I mean? We only had that. So I'm not going to say suckers. We had one sucker, you know what I mean? One troll that tried to say that I'm always mentioning DC when I say homies and I don't mention New York. Because to give you the short version, your code and conduct is what determines if you're a homie, not where your geographical location is from. You feel me? All right. Now, let's get this thing popping. I want to get a little music in it so we can get this thing going. Throw a little jab here, there. Make sure you turn the jab when you throw it. You know what I mean? My man Banky Pound is going to let you know that. You turn the jab. You turn the jab. You don't throw it up and you don't do all that. You got to turn it to get that impact. Now, we going to ride. You know what I mean? Let's ride with Unique Mecca Audio. So now we had a homie that was a gunner, you know, AKA in the penitentiary, we call him a Taliban. You know what I mean? A gunner and a Taliban is those that jack off to the female COs that can't control their lower desires. So instead of going in the cell, putting a sign up and privately, you know, masturbating, do what you got to do on your own time, that no one is involved but you and your mind and your lower desire, they decide to pull their tallywhacker out and in front of the females, and other men might be around and see that. That's a gunner. Now, we got a gunner that was from DC. Like I said, New York, DC, Philly, you know, Baltimore, you know what I mean, Jersey. We all roll together because we all under the Muslim umbrella. Now, we had a gunner in our car. So we told the gunner, when it was brought to our attention that he was a gunner, that he wasn't allowed to gun, or we will airlift him out of there. Airlifting meaning putting him on a stretcher, stabbing him up so bad, they got to fly him to the nearest hospital because there's no hospital near enough to sustain fixing the puncture wounds that he'll get. So youngins, pay attention, because I don't want you to go to prison. I don't want you to be a gunner, and I don't want you to be in this situation. So none of this is to brag. None of this is to boast. Now, we told the homie, next time you gun, you out of here. Everybody on the compound knew that he was a gunner because he was just wild with it. So we told him, we're going to let you stay, but we're going to give you one more chance not to violate. There was a There was a border brother out in Atwater that came to us and told us that the brother violated again. But this time he switched it and lied on a homie and said that the homie was gunning him. Now picture that. Now if a man is pulling out his genitals on another man, that's automatic cause for murder. Murder. If a man pulls his genitals out on another man, because we on man time and we don't do that. Okay? So now, he lied and came and told us that the brother was gunning. But what it was that really happened is he was outside the brother's cell with his homies, the border brother, and he was talking loud. You know what I mean? And the brother came out his cell as a man on man time and said, yo, I'm trying to lay down and relax and read my book, whatever I'm doing. I don't need to hear you in my cell. Can you please take that down the hall? Now, they felt because he was a gunner, you know, the border brothers felt because he was a gunner, he didn't get no respect. So the brother told him straight up, yo, family, move that down there because y'all making too much noise. So now they want to punish him because they looking at it like a gunner can't tell us what to do. You understand? But at the end of the day, the gunner is still a man. And he felt they was violating his personal space in his little 4x8 cell that he gave him, you know? But being that they feel like he ain't got no voice, you a gunner, you're a disrespect, we don't even want you out here because men don't do that. You know what I mean? But he agreed not to do that anymore. Now he goes to the big homie from D.C., being that the brother from D.C., the homie Antoine White. He told Antoine White, you know, the border brother told Antoine White, yo, your man gunning, he gotta go. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that if y'all don't take care of it. Antoine told him, hold up, y'all ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Let's get that right. You don't dictate to the East Coast car what we do because we all under the same umbrella. New York, D.C., Jersey, Maryland, Baltimore, we all under the same umbrella. So Tone told him that because it was in Tone's unit. So when Tone told him that, dude came back and Tone went and talked to the gunner, and the gunner said, yo, family, I wasn't gunning. I was in my cell minding my business. It was outside my cell that was making a whole lot of noise, and I asked them to keep the noise down. You understand? So now when Tone finds that out, Tone goes to their shot caller, who the Serenos was the bigger voice on the compound because they got the black hand with the Sereno. If you don't know what the black hand is, let me know in the comments and I'll break down what a black hand is. But black hand is God, you understand what I'm saying, for the Mexican gangs. If I'm saying something wrong, y'all from the West Coast that's in the gangs, you know what I mean, with the Mexicans or whatever, y'all voice your opinion. And if I'm wrong, I will apologize. But now Tone told him, y'all owe us an apology because the brother was not gunning. He asked him to leave, but because he was labeled a gunner, they felt like he didn't have a voice to say anything to them. So now Tone tells that to the Serenos. The Serenos go out and they all talk about making a move, you know, on the East Coast call. The Latin Kings is from the East Coast, but they're Latin. So the Mexicans felt like the Latins were supposed to roll with them. So they tell the Latin Kings that, yo, we get ready to go to war with the East Coast brothers. You know what I mean? You Latin, so you rolling with us. You understand what I'm saying? Period. That's how they try to tell them. But the Latin Kings wasn't having it. So the Latin Kings told them straight up as men, nah, we rolling with our East Coast brothers because even though we're Latin, we're from the East Coast because the Latin Kings is men as well. Big round of applause to the Latin Kings. Big round of applause. Big round of applause. And a gunshots to the Latin Kings. So the Latin Kings said, nah, I'm rolling with my East Coast brothers, man. New York, D.C., Baltimore, you know what I mean, Jersey, you know, the whole nine. I'm rolling with them. So now when that happens, dude comes and the shot caller goes back to Tone and tells him what's going on, and Tone said, "Now y'all owe us an apology because my man told your man that he was in front of my cell making noise, and he lied on my man because he was labeled a gunner. My man is not going for that. We're not going for that because he gave us our word he wasn't gonna gun anymore. So until he do that, he's one of ours. Let's get that right." This is what Tone told him. So now when he tells him that, the Serenos, the Border Brothers, all of them come in the unit deep, about 100 deep. You know what I mean? Because they want to move on this gunner, you know? But now all of us East Coast, you know, we all from other units, we all rolled in a unit to hold down the East Coast car. Because we're not going to let, because it happened in one unit, say, oh, it was that unit, it ain't had nothing to do with us. No, we all have to roll together. That's why I told you, youngins, don't go to prison, because you have to roll with your car. Now, the East Coast had a car. So whether you down with it, you got nothing to do with it, or whatever, you have to be there, because if the Mexicans decided to move, they don't care if you said, I don't have nothing to do with it. Just because you're East Coast, they're going to put the knife in you. That's the way it works. You understand? So y'all pay attention, man, so y'all know. I'm giving y'all jewels. Cash App was just on the screen. Make sure y'all understand and make sure y'all do this right. And like I said, this is how my Cash App goes, so you know. You know? Special announcement, man. If you go to my Cash App, $ unique Mecca Hall, and it don't say Waynesworth Hall, don't send money. Period. Only unique Mecca Hall, then it'll show up Waynesworth Hall. That's my account. Nothing else is my account. Alright? So now, so you understand. So now all of them come in there, and all of us come in there, and it was so many of us when they came in there. The police hit the deuces and ran. The deuces is like the panic alarm, let them know that the jail is out of control, there's a fight or whatever. When they do that, they all run out the unit. When they run out the unit, all the police run down from the lieutenant office, and they come running the unit. When they get there, the police looked on the camera, they see what was going on, and they told each other, stand down, let them kill each other. Don't go in there and put your lives in danger, because them dudes got knives, and they're willing to push the knives. So the police scared to go in the unit to protect you. So if you youngins want to go to prison and think that you can just live in a unit and be by yourself, you ain't got nothing to do with this, you ain't got nothing to do with that, you're not with the East Coast car, you're not with the DC car, the New York car, the Muslim car, the Dirty South car, whatever. The police don't care and the inmates don't care. Let's get that straight. So the police stayed outside scared to death to go in. Gunshots to them being smart. Gunshots to them being smart. Let's get it going. You know what I mean? So now they go up, we in the unit, and we all squared off. Everybody got knives, the East Coast car, and, you know, the Mexicans, and we ready to go with each other. They telling us that they want to move on a homie, and we tell them, you're not doing nothing to the homie, because the homie is just that, a homie. And we're not going to let you do nothing to him. They're like, yeah, but he's a gunner. Yes, he gunned in the past. He gave us his word. He's not going to do it. He haven't violated his word, so we're holding him down. So whatever you want to do, we're going to do. So that's how that goes. So I want y'all to understand. Only even the Dirty South car got involved with this, because they on the East Coast. Now, the Dirty South car, so you understand, that consisted of, you know, the New Orleans brothers. Big shout out to New Orleans. You know what I mean? That goes, you know, to Atlanta, Memphis, you know what I mean? Tennessee, Mississippi, North Carolina, Virginia. So we all together, because we all are West and we outnumbered, so we got to come together when it's a race situation. And being that this was a race situation, we had to be there for each other. So you got 100 of them, 100 of us ready to push knives and ready to die to protect the homie's honor, that he don't have to go anywhere for standing up on man time by asking a man to leave from in front of his cell with all the noise that he's carrying on with. So now, Big Tone, you know, Antone White, he step aside with the shot callers, and they talk before we roll, because we about to rumble. But like I said, there's structure. We don't just roll and roll, you know what I mean? So when he go talk to them, Tone told them straight up, look, this is what it is. We ready to go to war. You ready to go to war. We're going to go to war. But I'm letting you know now, only way we not going to war is if y'all give us an apology. And they're like, give us an apology for what? And they're like, y'all need to give us an apology because my man did not pull his joint out on the border brother. He didn't pull his joint out on the female. You know what I mean? The border brother felt like because the homie was a gunner, was labeled a gunner, did gunning crap that we don't respect. You understand what I'm saying? Being that he did that, he don't have a voice. That's what your man thinking. You know, that he could just disrespect her. But at the end of the day, he's on man time because he's with us. So they're like, ho. What do you mean? He didn't pull out on him. He said, nah, call your man over here right now. We call our man over here. So the gunner came over with the border brother that told a lie, and they asked him what happened. You know what I mean? So now the border brother can't lie to the Serenos, the other border brothers on the other Mexican gang, so he kept it 100. He said, I was outside the cell and he told us to keep it down and I don't feel he had a right to tell us nothing. They said, then why did you lie to us and got us all in this unit from all over the compound, ready to go to war with these Morenos? That's what they call blacks. You know what I mean? If he didn't violate, you know? He said, I felt he violated because he told me what to do. And you know, we don't respect men that can't control their lower desire. And he said, hold up. So then that means that's with you and him. So if you want to see him with the knife, you go see the DC brother with the knife, one-on-one, y'all go in the cell and y'all handle that. But don't bring everybody to clash because you got a personal issue. If you got a personal issue with any man on this compound, we're going to make sure you see him one-on-one. Period. But we're not going to all jump on any one man or any group of men because of your personal issue, because you have to remember that there's rules and code to this conduct, and we follow them and we don't compromise them because you're a homie. You understand what I'm saying? So now that's how that played out. But you know, being told handled like a man. So, of course, they apologized and said that, yo, our bag, the homie lied. We're going to deal with him in our way. So you don't have to deal with him for lying. Because if they wouldn't deal with him, now the East Coast car got to go deal with him. You understand? Pay attention to what I'm saying, man. So they gave us their word. Cash App on the screen. Make sure you understand it. Must say Waynesworth Hall after you put in Unique Mecca Hall for the money to get to me. Now, being that happened, they turned around and they told them straight up, you know what I mean? You dead wrong. They took him in the cell and they gave him what they call a DP. You know what I mean? Which is disciplining him. So like 3 dudes went in there and, you know, beat him down to the body for 4 minutes. So if you youngins want to be beat down in the body for 4 minutes for lying, feel free to go to prison. But this is how it played out. You know what I mean? I'm keeping this story right to the point and riding. Because nobody been complaining, and I respect that. Big round of applause. You know what I mean? Big round of applause. Nobody been complaining about the way I'm riding, but I just wanted to give y'all this story short and to the point. So if that's what you want, I'd rather do that and give you 20 minutes than give you 30 minutes of me riding. But I like to ride with you because y'all are family. Gunshots to my family. Gunshots to my family. You know what I mean? And I just like to sit here like I'm sitting in the prison cell like you see me. You know what I mean? And I'm telling my prison stories and I'm riding how I want to ride. I respect y'all for checking the trolls that complained about the way I want to ride. Just put your seatbelt on, buckle up, get in a ride, and shut the F up. Don't touch my radio. You can suggest a song, or you can suggest, where's that? A prison story, you know? But don't touch my radio. And don't complain about the driver, how he's driving, because you chose to get in my whip and let me take you for a ride. And I'll take you for the ride the way I want to take you. Make sure you go to my podcast and download a video. If you can't do a Cash App, Go to Unique Mecca Audio Podcast at Spotify, iHeart Radio and all of that stuff that got Spotify stuff, and download the video. It's all I'm asking. Show support for the hustle. I just got 500 new Aurora in Harlem. So if you want your book, go to aurorainharlem.com and your book will be there in 3 days. Support the hustle. We got the Man Time hat and all that. We got the merch. We got everything. Support the hustle. So y'all understand that? This is right to the point. I'm not even going to ride too much today because I just want to give it to y'all the way it's given and let you know that I appreciate y'all, man. And tomorrow I got a special for you that I'm going to let rock for Saturday and maybe Sunday. I do a week and let it rock the whole joint that y'all need to make sure y'all see. So let me get in this camera. Y'all need to make sure y'all watch this joint because this joint is on the code and conduct of what makes a homie. Because dudes think because I mentioned D.C. that I'm neglecting my New York homies. I got homies in Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Miami, you understand? California, New Jersey, New York. It's not where I'm from that makes my homies. It's the code and conduct that my homies follow. If you're from New York and you a rat bastard, let's get that straight. And I hate him with a passion. If you a rat bastard, you're not my homie. Period. If you from Chicago, D.C., Miami, Baltimore, Detroit, and you a rat bastard, you're not my homie. But if you follow the rules and conduct of the street code, the gangster code, now you're my homie. So don't say nothing when I tell stories about D.C. or I tell stories about Detroit or I tell stories about California, because I'm going to bring my man C-Dog up here. I'm going to introduce y'all to a real California gangster, my homie. And not because he live in New York, but because he followed the rules and conduct of being a man on the street, which is no telling, not even on a dead man. And that's not a shot to anybody. Because if a nigga want to tell on a dead body, nigga want to tell on a living body, nigga, that's on you. But my homies don't do that. Big shout out to Gangster Lou. Big shout out to Antone White. Big shout out to Big Red. Big shout out to C-Dog from California. Big shout out to the Booby Boys. Big shout out to Jimmy Fingers. Big shout out to Wise from Jersey. Big shout out to Shane Love from Jersey. Big shout out to Saman from Jersey. You understand? Big shout out to Best Friends. Flex D from Detroit. You understand what I'm saying? Turk from Detroit. You understand? Chicago, Big D, Shorty Doe, Big Dirt, Jojo Capone. You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man. These is my homies. Big shout out to Cass, a.k.a. Casper, and his brother C-Dog and Mario Villabona. That's my homies. So you suckers, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to give you a gunshot with that. You suckers that don't respect that the code and conduct determine my homies. Take this. Nice and simple. No disrespect, but disrespect. Because if you don't understand that we stand on codes and principles, then that means you're on the other side. Get a job, go to school, and then you don't have to worry about none of this. But if you choose to be in the street, this is how it goes. If my brother was a rat bastard, which he's not, he wouldn't be my brother. And he wouldn't be my homie. But that don't mean that I can't, spend money at his local store, because all those Arabs and Chinese people, all of them is rat bastards, 90% of them, and they would tell. But we still spend our money with them. Y'all follow where I'm coming from?
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
So let me tune out, man, because I've been on here long enough. I wanted to keep this short and to the point, man. Alright.
Cheers to crime.
Fresh out the can, I'm 26. He back on the strip, get back in the mix. What it means is a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in home. He cut from the bottom, I came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you go and get it. The Instagram page and then YouTube, you go and visit. Then you consider yourself linked in. Sit front row and get used from a kingpin. I went through it, so you ain't gotta do it. Did not pay attention with what's stupid. Talking about a man that probably put his grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and his grams got along. A man that generated minutes on the block. Did it time, never swill it to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the night. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind. Spin a couple bands on the jacket again. You be back again, getting green like Pats fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They horn uptown, the minute they bust down. Now we on the positive, you ain't got a lock it. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend it in. He started in uptown, he gon' finish there. But now we're waiting about selling drugs, buying cars, while buying property to bring the community yard. So we can give back to the youth them, cause they troop them, and bless up the